Good YouTube, Cardfight King here, AQUA Life Baby. You already know. We got my brother today. As promised, he's going to be doing his Brawler deck profile. He's still working on the new cards. This is just one of the builds that we had in mind. After we get some tournaments in and everything else, we'll see if changes need to be made. But so far, it's running pretty well. It's still annoying me to death. This deck is very strong in the format, guys. This is one of the decks I would definitely suggest you building. It has gotten way more expensive. Conquest is pretty penny now, but this is a very good deck. This has been his main deck since the deck came out. Of course, you know who built it for him, me. And yeah, so we're gonna get to the deck profile and let him explain everything. All right.
Alright, so starting off with the grade zeros, of course we got the starter right here, Spark Kid Dragoon. Never really changed him from set 16 because I still prioritize getting the grade 3s, so you have options of striding or getting off Big Bang Knuckle Buster's skill, because it's good to have a cross ride and it's good to wipe your opponent's field and get that power boost for your rear guards especially. So he's never really changed the deck. I didn't run Seishin. I tried him out, but I didn't really like the style of him because I'm like, if I can't get to my 3s, which are still one of the most important parts of the deck, then there's like no real point in running this guy. I mean, yeah, you can kill the starter off, but if they get their starter off the field before you, he's a dead card. And I mean, there's other stuff you can call to your field that eventually replace it, or he's just a free card for your opponent to retire and off your field, and you lose a booster if they're running a control deck like Kagero or Link Joker.
Mm-hmm.
All right, on to the critical triggers. We have the Brawler Street Fighter Dragon. And
annoying.
we have Malevolent Jin, aka Jafar. I'm running 4 of this guy because he's the best trigger in the deck. You can shuffle him back and give your opponent the same ability as Big Bang / Dragon.
Give your rear
guards as long as they're brawlers. So keep that in mind. Or you can just stack it onto one of the units that already have the ability. So you mainly want to utilize when you know you're going to punch in the field and you want to hit some triggers. So
his ability stacks. So you can use multiple crit triggers on the same brawler rear guard, and the ability will stack.
Yep.
That's stupid.
And then we have our Malevolent Jin, who you just throw in the soul, give 3k to something. So if you want to rush her, just get a unit in your soul for turbo to pay the cost with, and it's always good to have that there. And then I'm throwing back to how I had my deck in set 16 and 17 trigger wise, where I have the 6 draw 6 crit, because I made the point that this deck can still get to the cross ride pretty quickly with the extra draw triggers in there. And since we're getting into the format where like a lot of decks can rush you down, like Aqua Force is still a strong deck, even without ripples, thank God. And it's still good to get your hand advantage up, since brawlers still have a tough time getting cards to their hand. And it's always good to throw out 5k shields here and there.
When you're on a cross ride, your 5s turn to 10s, your 10s turn to 15s, and yeah, it's annoying.
Yep, and we have the staple 4 heal triggers.
Yep.
All right, let's move on to the grade. Go. All right, so we have the 4 perfect guards, 4 stride enablers, and we have 3 10k attackers and 3 of the new Kokon, who is a clone of Big Bang / Dragon.
The perfect guards, guys. We have a Dragon Dancer Anastasia coming in. I wasn't able to pick it up at locals when I went there on Friday. No one had any extras I could trade for or buy. So we're putting that in our cart to order. So just for reference, we are running 4 copies of Dragon Dancer Anastasia, not 3 in 1.
Yeah,
because we want to unflip.
Yeah, unflipping is always good. So yeah. So yeah, that's pretty much it for her. And then you have the stride enablers. No real explanation for that. It's stride format. And
well, this deck is more stride based too.
Yeah, and the deck did become stride based. but we have the 10k attackers in Kokon at 3 each because I'd like to have the option of rushing my opponent early if they or being able to counteract a grade 2 game if they think that they can play it. So it's always a good card to have in the deck, and you can also stack the crit trigger onto it. So it's really good to have. And then you have this guy because boosting up your field. It's exactly like having arc but better. So that's why I really like this card. I'm so glad Bushiroad did something smart with the Brawler.
He's literally the grade 2 version of... He's really the grade 1 version of the grade 2. When you hit something, he gains 3k, and it just keeps stacking, and you can throw a crit trigger. I mean, I hate this card.
It's a great offensive tool, guys, and I really recommend you guys run it at 3 or 4. I might bump it back up to 4 and take this down because it's just a really good card. And if I face a lot of decks that build a field up, then it's always good to have on the field. So yeah.
All right, under grade 2.
All right, so we have the 4 Big Bang Slash Busters, 4 Sky Howl Dragons, and 4 Big Bang Slash Dragons. 3 Big Bang Slash Dragons. My bad. I have him at 3 and him at 4 because one, with the release of the crit trigger, I can just stack it onto this guy when I'm punching the field. So it's basically having the same thing. So I'm not really losing much out of it. But I have him at 4 because it's always good to counterblast, and he's like the best. He's like the best rear guard that they have probably.
It's like free destruction early game. He's not
Early
generation
game, late
break
game.
restricted, so he makes your opponent pay for rushing you.
Yep. So it's always good. It was very useful against Ripple players, especially because they would have their stuff on the field. Aqua Force approved. And then we have the 4 Slash Busters. Staple grade 2. Always have him at 4. In my opinion, at least. Some people like to throw him down to 3. Maybe even 2. That's cringy. But he's an 11k attacker regardless of which Vanguard you ride, and he can get 3k like him. But his only thing is that you need a Big Bang Knuckle. So if you really want to use him to early game rush, just note that he doesn't have the same ability as this guy. So that's it, really it. And I took out Chitora, because I forgot to mention that. I took out Chitora because I wanted to maximize the capability of using the crit trigger because blowing up the field became more of a priority in the deck since we're going to be facing a lot of Aqua Force, Link Joker players, all of those. And
it does hurt Link Jokers.
It does hurt Link Jokers. They need their field as much as they don't need their opponent to have one. So, that's it for the grade 2s, really.
And the Big Bang grade 2s, you can set up the Big Bang grade 2s. Every time you hit something, they gain plus 3k. You guys should know what he does. The deck's been down for like almost I guess like a year and like a few months or whatever. But yeah, grade 2s are really good. All right, on to grade 3.
All right, so we got the only grade 3s you need in a Brawler deck.
Please don't run any other Brawler grade 3. For the love of God, don't run any other Brawler grade 3.
We got Big Bang Knuckle Dragon and Big Bang Knuckle Buster. He's the guy you don't want to ride unless they're circumstantial.
Like the 2 game?
The grade 2 game, exactly.
And Mega Colonies, too. You did something good against Mega Colonies.
All right, when I was facing a Mega Colony player, shout out to Warlike in 36, he was using the Break Ride against me, so I baited out his Break Ride on Break Ride turn, so he would stun my field, and so I rode this guy instead of riding him, so I'd have the option of cross-riding and not having to re-ride this guy instead of just having him on there and then do.
So you don't have to re-ride the bad one over the good one.
Yeah.
Well, not really. He's not really bad, but the one you don't want to be on over the one you do want to be on.
Exactly, because you get a cross ride, you get 5k when you throw the grade 3 in the soul, and you get a punch of four cards in the field. So that's never bad.
Nope.
So yeah, there's not that much to explain about where you should run this.
This is the best cross ride deck in the game right now. This deck is the best cross ride deck. I mean, this deck is very good. It punches fields. It builds power along with punching. It might not be the exactly the fastest deck, but you can play more of a control build, and then at times, depending on your hand, you get a nice aggro. You can start doing some nice aggro plays. The deck is just very good. It's a very strong deck for the format, and these two grade threes are one of the banes of my existence. I have a few banes of my existence as an Aqua Force player, guys, but this one is definitely one of them.
All right, so let's move on to strides.
Oh yeah, and in this one, pretty much you counterblast 2 Brawler units, and you get to swing at the front row, and he gains plus 3k, and you can also Soul Blast 1, and he gains what, 3k?
He gains 3k, so he's a 14k
so
attacker.
So he's a 14k attacker. So if your opponent's playing a grade 2 game, you can use your soul to set up the drop zone for Legion and fight against those 9k Vanguards and whatnot. All right, on the strike deck. Good.
All right, so we have the Lightning Dragon Knight Zorus. We have 2 Big Bang Knuckle Turbos, and then the 4 Conquest Dragons. So let's go on to these guys first. I have 2 and 2 each because if I don't really need to use Turbo in the matchup I'm going against, like maybe Pale Moon or something that's not going to really matter if I kill the field as much. This guy's always good to get pressure off your opponent's perfect guards in their hand, and you get to bind 2 cards after retiring a unit on the field that they choose.
That card, Zorus, is going to be amazing against Grand Blue.
Yeah, definitely.
It's going to be really good.
So yeah, I definitely recommend running 2 of them. And then you have your turbos where you can flip these guys over so you can use them twice. I don't really like to run 3 because it just seems so ambiguous. It looks so redundant. I'm like, you might as well run 4.
And this guy attacks the whole field. If you're in Legion, he hits 3 units for every heart card you have. If you are in Legion, Turbo hits the entire field. And that is really, really stupid because you're sitting there. You have Kokon, you have the grade 2s, you have the crit trigger, doing its thing. Obviously, situational dependent, but it's like this thing hits 6 cards on the field. You hit literally in the entire field, even the empty rearguard circle. Well, you don't really hit the empty rearguard circles, but whatever. It's like you hit 6 cards in the field. That means it's pretty much a board wipe because you're not going to sit there and drop 15, 20, 25, 30k shields to protect each and every rear guard. Sometimes you want to eat the attack with your Vanguard because there might be a rear guard depending on your hand and whatnot that might be very useful to you. Like if you have like an Orthea but you don't really have any 4th battle enablers, we're playing Aqua Force, you might want to protect Orthea, with some shielding if you can. But I mean, this guy hits literally all 6 units on the field and then rewards the player for hitting those units with power, based upon what he has on the field.
So yeah, like killing a field is very important, and especially when you go into this guy who you flip another copy of him, and you retire a unit from your opponent's front row if you can. They get 5k for each, so you can give them a total of 10k. It's very situational.
He's pretty much like
he's the finisher of the game, but sometimes he can be the finisher, which is what I really like about the options that Narukami always had since he's come out.
Now, Conquest, though, guys, you got to remember the ruling on Conquest. You have to have the units in your front row before you use the ability. So prior to you using Conquest's ability, you have to have the units in your front row that you want to gain power, because if you do not have them and you use his ability, then any unit that's not in your front row does not gain the power. So let's say you're on Conquest and you have a Sky Howl in your front row. You use Conquest's ability to blow something up. Your front row gains 10k. Then you call down like your Brawler Big Bang Knuckle Dragon. He's not going to gain the 10,000 power because you called him after you use Conquest ability, which is a good thing because it was a good thing that Conquest ability is an act skill. Because his ability is an act skill, that means that you can set up things, and then when you're ready to use his ability after you've set up your field for your turn, then you can go off and use his ability. So this guy, he was like what, $30 to $35 last time I checked, $40. He's between 30 and 40. Some people around here value him at 40. So this guy is a very good strider card, guys. This is the finisher of them. And what is your signature combo with Conquest Dragon that I hate when you do?
Okay, you stride into Conquest Dragon, call out Sky Howl, blow up one card, Conquest blow up another, get a free 10k to your front row.
I hate that combo.
And
he does it to me all the time. But yeah, so that's pretty much it, guys.
Yeah.
Hope you guys enjoyed the deck profile. It was a little bit messy, but we're kind of tired, and I was trying to get this out, on Sunday. Hope you guys like, comment, subscribe. We're about to go play some Street Fighter. Probably going to get bodied, but it's all right. Cardfight King, and we're out.
Thunder Life, baby, we taking over.
No, AQUA Life. We're not doing no Thunder Life taking over.
Yes, we are.
No. Bye.